Active event. Huh? Screen capture. YouTube. Active event. Next. Save. Microsoft. Okay, let me go back now. Okay. Well, translated down to the surface, they're about 35-40, but Wading River is getting some very... So it's not, it's just going to translate. Okay. So right now, as you can see, yeah, freaking tremors. It's getting a little hard to keep a steady. I have a central tremor. This is... Yeah, I should probably invest in a tripod. Okay. Now I'm going to raise the brightness just a little bit now because, you know. So it's raining hard. Moderate to heavy rain is now coming down. I'm going to look on the radar again. I'm going to flip between radar and camera, radar and screening camera. I'm going to alternate. This is my first time using the software. First day. So I'm sorry if the quality isn't the best. I'm still getting the hang of it. I'm so used to doing it from the computer. You know, I'm usually so busy with school and work that I never really have time to stream. And no one really taught me about this. And I basically had to figure everything out on my own. You know, I mean, that's good, you know, being really self-reliant. You know, that's good, but sometimes you can't always be self-reliant and you do need help. You know, people should be helping one another out. You know. You know, the reason I do YouTube isn't to make money. I don't do this because, oh, I want to be famous. The truth is, I'm doing it to secure my future. Because I want to be a broadcast meteorologist as my career. I don't want to make money. I don't want to be a banker, be rich. I'm doing this because I'm a man of science. I'm a person of science. Can't believe I'm still saying that. Yeah, I'm actually non-binary, by the way. If some of you didn't know, I've been trying to transition for years, but I'm having a lot of difficulty. Actually, this is something that I've been thinking about for years. And I didn't know why I didn't feel comfortable about my body. I didn't know about, you know. And this isn't because of, oh, the LGBT community is brainwashing me as my family's claiming. No, it has nothing to do with this. This is something I've been really thinking about without even knowing about the LGBT community. When I was 13 years old, I didn't know what being trans was. I didn't know, you know, that there are people who actually think they were born in the wrong body just because. Or, you know, the fact that I'm hairy, it makes me feel very uncomfortable about my body. It's always been this way. Not because, oh, I'm fat. It's not about the way my body is because of my weight. It's the gender, you know, it's just that. And my family, of course, doesn't really support me because of that. But, hey, I know they're conservative, but I love them. But, you know, you gotta let a person live their life, and you know, you can't like choke them, you know, with control. You need to give them, you know, help. You can't live, you know, in fear of people either, like I've been living my whole life, because I've been controlled for so long that I was afraid that if I did anything, to on my own, I was always, would be threatened and, with really severe consequences. If you don't do this, we're gonna report you missing and blah blah blah. In my 20s, also other stuff too. It's just really, really difficult. And as a result of all this trauma and bullying in school, I have been plagued with many mental health issues that I never really got treatment for. I thought it was just the autism and anxiety, but it was so much more than that. And now I discovered what I really have because of, actually getting, not through through the internet. I actually went to the hospital last year and I was told I may have BPD. I figured it out on my own, but I never got the help because my family, of course, thinks I'm a hypochondriac. But every time I think I have something, it ends up being correct because I'm very analytical. I'm very precise. I know what I have and I know what I don't have. And being a hypochondriac is you think you have everything. You're always thinking there's something wrong with you. Hypochondriacs, maybe not every, that's actually kind of ableist. The idea of hypochondriac, assuming someone is making stuff up because they always claim there's something wrong. That's very ableist because a lot of times people know themselves better than other people know them. One person, you could only know what's best about you, not the other person. Now I'm going to focus on the weather and just let's watch the tropical storm come in. Let me find a place so I could lean this phone on and just watch the rain coming down. See? Yeah, perfect. So I'm currently live here at Abington Station, just east of Brockton. As you can see, there's heavy rain coming in right now with a strong southeast wind along. Here at the surface, the winds are near calm, but there's a very heavy downpour coming in right now. Let me show you around what is going on. At the present moment, we're getting extremely heavy rain right now. I would say if it's coming down at this rate consistently, this is about 1 inch to 1.5 inches an hour. There are numerous flash flood warnings in effect. There is very strong winds to my south and to my west. The winds to my south and east are associated with the upper level disturbance. With the south flow. And as the system is transitioning to an extratropical cyclone, there is strong winds on the backside of this system currently impacting northern Long Island Sound, and east central Connecticut. These winds will work their way into southeastern Massachusetts. The Cape and Islands will have strong southeast winds, while Boston and areas just north and west, especially Randolph, Canton, Just west of Providence, we'll have the strong winds from the backside, strong northeast winds. Currently, the winds are out of the southeast. We're having strong, right now, southeast winds aloft. We're having southeast winds at the present moment, I believe. This track actually is going northwest. So I believe the winds are actually due south or east. I gotta look at the way the track is oriented. But from my understanding, the winds are east-southeast right now, as the center of the storm is at the present moment just south of Long Island, near the just south of Southampton, moving northeast. So the center of the storm will pass right over Cape Cod or just slightly to the south. So I believe Cape Cod and the islands will get the center of circulation, and then you'll have strong winds and heavy rain on the backside, as this is a transitioning storm. The center of circulation is transitioning. It's a hybrid system. It's still a tropical storm. It's not subtropical yet, but I believe it will be downgraded to either a subtropical storm or be dubbed as an extratropical system by the next advisory. It's still a tropical storm because it's still over relatively warm waters where water temperatures are in the 70s, but it's hitting the coastal front. You're getting dry air to the west, dry but warm air, and cooler, moist oceanic air. And this interaction is causing an enhancement over central Connecticut, and also is bringing some of the stronger winds down to the surface. So these winds will continue to impact areas to the to the west, and you'll have that initial southerly, strong southerly push for areas along the Cape and the islands. But I believe the strongest winds will eventually be on the west side of the storm, which is already starting to transpire, especially just north of Long Island. Long Island Sound is already having 45 to 50 mile per hour winds just a few hundred feet up. But at the surface, it's translating to 35 to 40 mile an hour winds with gusts about close to 50. I believe the strongest gusts at Upton will be around 40 miles an hour, unless there's any downburst winds that come in, or not downburst, but any heavier showers that come in that could bring some of that winds that I indicated at aloft at 500-600 feet that are between 50 and 55 miles per hour. So strong winds. Good thing a tropical storm warning has been issued. Those winds may continue to develop, or they may weaken slightly as the system moves northeast, and transitioning basically fully takes effect into a hybrid nor'easter type system. We're still on the warm side of the storm because we're getting east-southeast winds, which is coming off of off of Cape Cod Bay, or we're just a little north of Cape Cod Bay, but it feels very warm outside. It does not feel like it's cool. It feels like I would say it's in the upper 60s to around 70. There's no steam coming out of my mouth, so it's definitely warm. Like, I've been in the 60s in hot and humid conditions, in upper 60s, and I had steam coming out. Can't see any steam, so it must be around 70, I'm going to estimate. I'm going to say an estimate of about 70 degrees right now. So I'm taking the next train north, which is in about an hour or so I should be in Framingham at 1:40. So at the present moment, the rain has tapered off as we're between several heavy bands. I'm going to record the screen. Shoot. Ah, damn it. Ah, damn. Screen cracked. Yeah, it's not that bad, but it cracked. Yeah, as you can see, my luck is always kind of crappy. Looks like the winds are changing direction a little bit at the surface, but that could just be enough, just what it looks like. But see, it looks like it's coming down this way. Looks like I'll have to pay about, oh shoot, there's some good winds coming in. Yep. Look at that rain curtain. Look at those curtains of rain coming down. I should have had a better screen protector. Right, this is probably going to cost me about what, $150? I should have kept the OtterBox on. Yeah, now we're starting to get about 25, 30 mile an hour winds. So these are the strong winds that are on the east side of the storm. We might also get the wrapping winds on the west side. Looking up, looks like a southeast wind coming in. If this is due south, this is like a south wind. The wind did just change direction a little bit. We did get a little bit of wind direction change. Possibly a little shear, but I have not seen any rotation. So, but this, I think that was just the winds coming in. Let me look at the radar. So I'm going to do a recording the screen. And look at the battery percentage, 35%. Yeah, this is why I want to stop. My internet right now is very unreliable, even though I have, now it's down to 2 bars. That's probably because of the impact. Kind of messed up with the connection, also the weather. I kind of had I didn't actually expect that, but my luck is always kind of, not that great. I've always dealt with like bad luck and stuff. This is why I do rituals, kind of ward off all that negative energy. I try to be optimistic and, send people good energy. But the thing is, I've just been through so much in my life that, it's really hard to stay positive. And of course, I'm dealing with mental health issues. And I recently dealt with a series of really unfortunate crises that I did not handle very well. I handled it poorly because I was going through a really, really rough time, and it was just one problem after another, after another, after another, after another. And when you deal with that, you can't really, even with using catastrophizing as a security blanket, things were just happening so often, so bad and so often that it was like a never-ending torrent that as much as I tried to adapt to it, it was really hard. I'm finally getting a bit of a break from all this bad luck, but bad luck wasn't just, how my family was treating me. It was other stuff too, like related to my disability, related to, of course, it's not just luck. It's, more like causation, cause and effect, coincidental. Like, I knew that that traveling to and from Stony Brook was going to be bad. I expected that I was going to fail the spring semester. I did. I was expecting that Stony Brook was not going to have disability office-based tutoring like LaGuardia, which is why I didn't want my mom to make me go to Stony Brook. I told her this, and she still told me to go. Well, I found out that there's some good news that Stony Brook has this program where I could do this distance thing, and I told her it's not going to work out for me. Not that I'm not probably going to get accepted. They're probably going to say that my GPA is too low. They're not. I don't know if they're going to take COVID into account. I'm always assuming the worst, but of course, I don't give up. Of course, I try, because, if you give up, then it's your fault if something bad happens. Well, it's because you don't try. If you try and you actually do something, then it's not your fault. That's what I always do. I always try my hardest because I know in the end it's not my fault. Because if I don't try, it is my fault. But people still tell me it's my fault because, they always want to be right. And things that, the reason I am actually bad at math and science, even though I love it, is because didn't go to high school. I went to a special ed school. And I needed a lot of tutoring, like a lot of tutoring, And I was always getting the one-on-one tutoring from my college. And even then, it was really hard because there was all this complicated stuff you have to memorize. Let me go back to recording the screen. And hey, thank you for watching this. I really appreciate if you could, send this stream out there. And I've been, doing YouTube for over almost 10 years now. Never got anywhere with it. I don't want YouTube to be my career. I just want YouTube to be what helps me get out there. Because some people want to use YouTube for it to be their career. But the thing is, I want to be on television. I know that's an old thing, oh, television. But the thing is, I want to be part of a community like like National Weather Service, AccuWeather, the Weather Channel. I want to be out there because I can't, you see how I'm doing this, how hard it is? When you're part of a team, you're not doing everything on your own. You're, getting help. You're helping others. You're like working in a team, like in broadcasting. Everything is teamwork. It's not your own. It's teamwork. And I like teamwork. I like working with people. Even though I'm autistic, and it's that for me, like when I do manual labor, I prefer working on my own because I want to show people I'm better. Because I don't want people to assume, oh, just because I'm autistic, I can't do this or I can't do that. Or people have certain expectations for me that are higher than someone else's because I have a certain condition, Like, people do that sometimes, and that's very wrong. I want to be treated fairly. Like, I want to get help for certain things, but I want to be treated well. Like, I do not want to be discriminated against. I do not want to be given, like, oh, like, in one way I'm treating better. Like, not better, but, like, you have high expectations here, but in other places you're treating me like crap and you're treating me all the way down there. Like, hypocritical treatment. Like double standards, That's how I've been treated my whole life. And I started militantly advocating for myself because of this. And this militant advocating that I started in middle school is actually what kind of got me held back. Because my family wasn't really doing that much advocating until like months after I told them what was going on. And I was there on the front lines being bullied like no tomorrow. And at home, my home life wasn't that great either. So it's like, pick your poison. What? Would you rather be bullied by a bunch of bullies or being at home and being treated like crap? Like, a lot of people have it good. Like, in America, it's very unusual for students to be bullied at home. Abused at home and bullied at. That's very, it happens, but it's not that common. Especially among autistic people, it is pretty common. Usually families who have autistic children will be overprotective. Maybe would treat their child a little bit different from other people, but not like how I was treated. The way I was treated was just horrible. Unfortunately, there are families who do that. But at school, they would be like, So yeah, my mistreatment was as a result of my autism. So there are a lot of autistic people who are treated horribly at home and at school. And this actually causes mental health issues. Most mental health issues found in autistic people is not because of their autism, but because of how they're treated. Because people with autistic people have, certain needs. It could be frustrating for families, and this would cause the families, especially in toxic families, to treat them worse because autistic people are very aware of their surroundings, and if they can articulate themselves and they start pointing out things that are wrong in the family and start advocating for themselves or for others like I did, things could get really bad, like in my case. So this is not unique what I was going through. It actually is pretty common. And this is why I was involved with the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, which is an amazing organization. Unfortunately, I had to not step down, but I wasn't able to make any meeting. And then the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network in New York City basically kind of fell into disarray after ASAN made it an affiliate. And I have executive dysfunction. I didn't know what executive dysfunction was. I know that someone told me that they had executive dysfunction, the former head. I'm not going to say their name, privacy reasons. But the thing is, I do have executive dysfunction. Didn't know what it was. I have it bad as well. I cannot do school and work at the same time and run an organization, And I didn't go to high school. So I went to a special ed school. So, imagine, having roadblock, not being, being in a school where you're giving substandardized testing, right? Then, okay, so imagine you're in the middle school, right? Like I was, and you're being bullied all the time, right? By bullies in the program that's supposed to basically cater to your needs, right? That's supposed to protect you from being bullied, and you're being bullied there, not in your classroom. No, you're not being bullied in your classroom. Yeah, I got teased a little. So what? Everyone's been teased. But you're being bullied in the inclusion program, and the worst part is you're not allowed to go to recess indoors, but you have to be like in the inclusion office during recess times if it's indoors. You can't go to the auditorium to be with your class because, so you're allowed to be outdoors in this like dilapidated, like where there's walls everywhere. It's kids are running around, playing sports, and like there's a good chance that you're gonna be knocked to the ground, and yet you can't sit in the auditorium with your class like a normal person. What they were doing was so disgusting. It was just super effed up. It was super ableist. It was just, and knowing that I would be attacked there all the time, the inclusion program director did nothing to stop it. Not only did she not do anything to stop the bullying, but she actually encouraged the bullies to pick on me and embarrass me in front of them on a continuous basis. And she would punish me for the tiniest infractions, talking back, having an attitude. But when they beat me up or, call me names, nothing. But if I started talking back or calling them names because they were bullying me, I got in trouble. So as I said, there was this one day I mistook someone's jacket because it looked just like mine. This was February 15th, 2004. Tuesday, February 15th, 2004. I am never forgetting that day. It was horrible what happened. Oh, and this was actually part of an ongoing, the bully just, they all picked on me. Everyone in the inclusion program picked on me. Why? I honestly don't know. It's probably a horrible misunderstanding because, I really don't want to talk about it. Anyway, I want to get it off. I want you guys to know what I've been through. So, if any of you have autism and been through similar stuff or are going through similar stuff, I want you to understand that you're not the only one who has been treated horribly, so horribly by society. People say, oh, this stuff doesn't happen anymore. BS on a stick. It still happens. And actually, in some cases, it's still ongoing. There's still kids who get disabled kids on the spectrum who are treated horribly. It's never going to stop. It's continuous. And we need, as the autism community, we need to stand up to this ableism that is ongoing in a lot of public schools and private schools. We need to say, hey, you can't do this. You cannot segregate students in one way, but let them be in a classroom, when they're, you cannot do these double standards. You can't have students be in a classroom, oh yeah, they can be in a classroom, but they can't socialize normally. So you're forcing them to socialize in this hectic environment by making me go outside in recess when it's outdoors, but when it's indoors, you're saying, oh, because no one's going to be watching you guys. Come on. Auditorium, everyone's sitting down, right? Everyone's sitting down. Probably watching movies. You could talk with your friends. They prevented me from socializing normally. It was not because of my condition that I wasn't able to socialize normally, but because of this ableism. They were enforcing these stereotypes on me. Autistic people don't socialize normally. This was so ableist of them. Just so just unacceptable. And the thing was, I was constantly advocating for myself. No, I want to be able to sit with my class. I want to be able to sit with my class. Of course, the other students also, I'm pretty sure that they were not treated this way. Because I know that when I had recess, when I had recess, right? When I was supposed to have, I knew which students had recess indoors at which time, like in the inclusion program. They were allowed to sit with their class while I was not. I had to be in the inclusion program most of the time, being bullied. I hope that maybe I wasn't inside all the time, but I was hoping they would make an exception for me because of the dangerous situation I was in that little room, being beat up all the time, cursed at, treated like absolute crap. And the inclusion program director never gave the bullies any consequences. I was, on the other hand, always punished, given detention during recess, no computer privileges, just for standing up for myself and for, standing up for yourself. Why would someone be punished for standing up for themselves? Yet of course, I was very super negative, and I was constantly expecting that. And of course, the inclusion program director knew my triggers and would always trigger me. And that day, February 15th, 2002, well, 4 days earlier, it was March 11th. It was Thursday, March 10th, 2002. It was a cold day outside, really cold, actually. And I was forced, a bully took my hat off of my head. A group of bullies from that same inclusion program all took my hat off of my head. They were throwing it to one another, and they threw the hat in the mailbox. They all hated me, probably because of my negativity. I always said, everyone hates me, and I guess they kind of ran along with that because I really felt that. And instead of trying to feel any sympathy for me, they were just utterly cruel and ruthless. And of course, I didn't believe the inclusion program director when I first came to the school. My mom told me there was not going to be any. She told my mom there was not going to be any bullies here, and I told my mom, "Don't believe her. She's lying. I can tell." I told her in my language. And of course, I think my inclusion program director knew that I'm a very negative person right from the get-go, because I kind of felt, I didn't know why, but I'm very intuitive, and I can tell things. I feel a certain energy. I couldn't explain it, but I always felt this vibe. I could feel vibes. I can feel if someone is lying to me or being honest. Not always, but I can usually tell. Where back then I could tell. It's not all I could tell the future. No, kids are really good at this, at understanding things. Of course, adults don't think, of course, I believe otherwise. I believe that if someone is telling you something, you got to believe them. You can't always assume they're lying. Lying happens mostly as a result of fear of being misunderstood, fear of being judged. If you live in an accepting environment, there's going to be very little lying. People are not going to be afraid of telling the truth. But anyway, putting that aside, that day, the bullies, threw my hat in the mailbox. The 10th of February, Thursday, 2004. Not 2002, 2004. Also, the bullies were caught. My para saw what happened, and they were like, hey, my para, I loved her. She was amazing. She was so sweet and kind, and when she got sad, witnessing, she cried several times because of how badly I was treated. She felt bad for me. I thought I did something wrong, but actually it was her crying because of how they were treating me. She just felt so bad. And the thing is, no one should have to be bullied like that ever. And you know what? She actually tried. She really did try to stand up for me. And when I would tell her, why am I so unlucky? What did I do? She's like, I'm sorry. And I never forgot her. In fact, I want to thank her, Miss Bocci, if you're hearing this. I don't know if you're ever going to see this stream. I haven't seen you since 2005, since It was 2005, February 2005. Sorry, school year of 2004, 2005. So it was February 2005, not 2004. Okay, now remember, school year was 2004, 2005. Oh, right. I thought it was 2004 because the school year began in 2004. Okay, so Thursday, February 10th, 2005 is when the hat incident happened. Fast forward to Friday, I was reminding the inclusion program director why none of them got punished, why does she never even give them tiny consequences for the way they treat me? And she said, oh, that's none of your business. But yet she always punishes me in front of them, but she doesn't punish them at all. And that just always got under my skin because I had a crappy home life. Like, it wasn't horrible. Like, I wasn't being beat up every day, but, it wasn't the best. I was kind of being mistreated at the time at home. I had emotional issues because there was occasional fights in the family. My home life was pretty dysfunctional, to be honest with you. My school life was dysfunctional. My home life was dysfunctional. I had no friends at all. None. And then what happened was this. On February 15, 2005, day after Valentine's Day. Oh, yeah, I got a girl flowers for Valentine's Day the day before. Monday, February 14th, 2005, I got a girl flowers. I got her roses. He said, oh, she hated roses. She wanted tulips instead. And basically, she knew I had a crush on her. And the thing is, she was the first girl I ever had a crush on, and she treated me like crap. I mean, I expected it, but still, it was really harsh. And I actually swore to God, because this is when I started becoming really superstitious and really, believing, I swore to God that I was going to be single forever. Never going to be in a relationship. 17 years later, it has verified, or 16 years, actually. Yeah, I swore to God that I'm never going to be in a relationship. And you know what? Somehow the universe made that happen because I swore on it. I used the Lord's name in vain, I guess, and put it out there. And yeah, the reason I said I'm always going to be single is because I'm always going to get rejected. This is kind of where my BPD, but this was more OCD and trauma based. But then on the 15th of February, next day, it was time for recess, outdoor recess, because temperatures were in the 60s. It was a very warm day. It was one of the warmest days that in that stretch. And so recess was allowed to be outdoors, but I still got my jacket because it was chilly in the morning. It was like in the 40s. So I took my first down jacket. So I actually still have it, I think. It still fits me. I had the same jacket from when I was 13. I still have it. It's a little tight on me, but I was pretty tall when I was 13. So anyway, you can see how it's still raining pretty hard here. So yeah, when I was 13, I was bullied really bad. It was a really bad year for me. Not the worst year, but it was one of the worst. This is it was one of the bad stretches in my life. I had several bad stretches before. Most of them, my bad stretch began when I was around 8 to around 10 with my stepfather to about 12. I didn't have a stable home life because my stepfather was he was kind of abusive physically, mentally, emotionally. And I actually had to move out of my family when I was 12, my mom's place, because I had a really bad incident with my stepdad. And I, really don't want to talk about it though. Anyway, I know I'm putting everything out there. I just want people to know what I've been through. Of course, my case it's not the worst, but it kind of feels like when you're all alone for most of your life with no friends, you kind of feel like you're suffering inside, you're suffering all alone, and that you're really unlucky. But anyway, going back to when I was at the school, so I took a jacket that looked just like mine because it was exactly the same size, the same design and everything, but it wasn't a first down. So I was about to put it on when I realized the logo wasn't there. So I proceeded to place the jacket back. Just as I was putting it back on the hook, I got attacked, cursed at, beat up, and anyway, he was sent back for recess, and I got in trouble. Yep, I got punished for, I got punished for touching his jacket. He's saying, it was your fault the fight happened. I'm like, but it was an accident. It looks the same. She was like, I don't care, it was your fault. And I'm like, okay, then why didn't you punish them when they threw my hat in the mailbox? That was deliberate. This is an accident. I didn't do anything. I didn't hit them. I didn't touch them. All I did was I complained to you, and you didn't do anything. And the para witnessed it. She told you what happened. So you're just doing this because you hate me because I'm autistic. You're an autism discriminator, I said. And she said, just for that, I'm giving you another day of detention. So then I just had it, and I took his jacket, started throwing it on the ground, kicking it on, and, basically having a field day with it. Of course, I was angry. I was I felt like since I'm being punished for no reason, and I believed that, I had reverse karma, that I was that unlucky, I wanted to finally have a little bit of justice, just a slight taste of justice, and he wasn't there to see it, so there was no damage to his jacket. And she was the only one there. There's one other kid there, but I never, ever, ever had any issues with him. He never had any issues with me. He knew what was going on, and he kind of was on my side, kind of. But, so the big incident happened a few hours later during dismissal. I was pushed down a flight of stairs, and then I'm like, why? Well, and then she was like all smug, the inclusion director was all smug about it, saying, oh, it looks like someone must have told him what you did to his jacket. There was no damage to his jacket. I'm like, who told him? And he was like, you know who. I'm like, it was only you and me. He was like, no, it wasn't. And I asked the kid, I'm like, did you tell him? He was like, no. And I'm like, thought so. And I'm like, you cannot fool me. Of course he told him. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm the teacher. Yeah. And you know what? Apparently, what she did was she would spread drama. She would tell other students, like in the program, what other students did. She was a true narcissist. She was a narcissist right to the core. She's a true case of a narcissistic personality disorder. She was a true narcissist, right down to the letter. Like, I did research on NPD, and I realized, oh my God, that's Miss Magno. That is her. That is absolutely her. She did everything in her power to make my life miserable because I was the one who challenged her. I was the one who made her realize her mistake. Not only did she make other students hate me, but she actually deliberately gave me substandardized tests and said that I belonged in District 75. Do you know what District 75 is? It's for students with severe disabilities who will never get a high school diploma or go to college. She tried to deliberately have me take those tests that would never let me even get a Regents or even a local diploma, that I would get an IEP diploma. With an IEP diploma, you cannot go to college. If you get an IEP diploma, you have to do a GED. And my mom was shocked. And it wasn't because of my grades were actually pretty good. I had Spanish, when it was time for me to go to Spanish, she wouldn't let me go. She said, you have to stay here for homeroom. And then you have to wait for your para, She was doing everything in her power. I didn't know this at the time, to make sure I failed. Everything in her power to make sure I failed and never graduated. Apparently, this is why I hate authority. Authority is a disaster to people on the autism spectrum. It is a disaster, especially if the authority figure can control your life to this extent. This should never, ever be allowed to happen. The way I was advocating for myself should have been clear, should have been absolutely clear that I had great potential and my potential was robbed because of ableism. Because of ableism and because of one toxic, out of control, power-hungry person. She she was the reason I couldn't succeed in school at the time. And of course, my home life wasn't any better. So there was blame to go on all sides. I had some blame as well. My fault was that I was very defiant. I was very defiant, very strong-headed, very strong-willed. And yeah, I got diagnosed with ODD, but I didn't have problems with most authority figures. No, I didn't have problems with any of the other teachers. I followed directions to the letter. In fact, I always tried my best. But with her, no matter how hard I tried, I would always lose. Try, fail. Try, fail. And she made me feel like a failure, like an utter failure. And instead of sending me to another middle school, my mom sent me to this Boston Higashi school, which I have mixed feelings about it. The school was great. I loved the school. And I had some issues there. But the thing is, I don't know what would have happened. I can't look into an alternate universe. What would have happened had I not gone to the Boston Higashi school? It could have been great or it could have been really bad. But the Boston Higashi school saved my life because I was thinking about hurting myself. I was thinking super catastrophic things. Of course, leaving the school, I started it again. And of course, everything I anticipated did come to fruition because of my family. Of course, I didn't realize just how toxic my family was until it was kind of a little too late. But when I was in Higashi, as my mind started to heal, I kind of started calming down. My OCD became more stable. That's when I started realizing what will likely happen when I leave the school. Where am I going to end up? The plan for my transition was to live in a group home with people like myself, so I could communicate with them. Everyone was telling me that Higashi was the wrong place for me. I don't like functioning labels. I don't like, high functioning, low functioning. That's very discriminatory, and it negates, people on the autism spectrum who just maybe can't talk or have good hand-eye coordination. Because I was nonverbal till age 5. I knew so much, but I couldn't get it out of my mouth. I even started doing sign language, but I kind of forgot how to use it. Anyway, the fact I can talk doesn't matter. I can articulate myself, but there are a lot of people on the spectrum who cannot. That doesn't mean they're low functioning. There is no such thing as low or high functioning. There shouldn't be this discrepancy. It's just autism. And I'm not an Aspie. I do not like the term Asperger's, because it implies, you're higher functioning. Also, Hans Asperger was a freaking Nazi. He sent so many autistic people to the Action TK program. He was not a savior as initially thought. He was actually one of the collaborators with the youth extermination program that the Nazis did. Very, very, very just unacceptable eugenics program that the Nazis did in trying to get rid of the autism community or disabled community because of genetics. Stupid. Genetics, here's the thing about genetics. Most conditions, or even if it is caused by genes, you shouldn't try to wipe out disparities in genes. There should be diversity. Neurodiversity is an important feature of humanity. It teaches people how to be compassionate to one another. No, we need neurodiversity. I am part of the neurodiverse community, and I am proud of it. I am damn proud of being autistic, and I'm not going to change anything about it. If there ever is a cure for autism, there shouldn't be a cure for autism. Let us live our life. Let us live our life. Stop trying to cure us. We do not want to be cured. We want to be treated fairly. We want to be able to pursue our interests. We want to be able to do what we want to do and not treat it like crap. What I hate most about myself or just about my life is the way I've been treated, not my symptoms. Stop controlling us. Stop saying, this is not appropriate. You shouldn't be stimming. Control the bad behaviors, but encourage the good ones. Don't, treat stimming as a bad behavior. Stop treating it as behavior. Stimming is not a behavior. Stimming is a coping mechanism. It is more than just a coping mechanism. It's a way of life. You shouldn't be laughed at or made fun of, because I've been made fun of and laughed for so many years. People made fun of me in public. I've seen people imitate me for stimming. It is just absolutely disgusting what, the way society treats people, neurodiverse people. I've realized, I thought it was just me and my bad luck. No, it is discrimination and ableism which has defined me, and I am done letting it define me. And I want to help the autism community as much as possible. Almost all of my friends are autistic, but I also have borderline personality disorder, which has caused me to lash out at people and do some really bad, not bad, but and I am afraid that because of my mental health conditions, when I try to succeed in the future, my past will catch up with me, even though I didn't do anything horrible. I'm very catastrophic, and I always think in the worst case and worst in everything, because almost every negative prediction has come true. I get extremely anxious when I think about the future, because everything I anticipated has come to fruition. And the truth is, if anyone's watching this that I've ever insulted, of course it's usually, I'm really sorry. I am truly, truly sorry. If I'm not going to say any names, because I don't want to start any more drama and stuff like that, or deal with any more drama, because I am done with it. I just want to live my life. And I had a realization that I can't be so negative. I know I'm probably I'm still working on my mental health. I still have a lot to do. And now I'm just healing from everything I've been through. This is why I like going out on my own. This gives me a huge release, and I'm feeling so much better right now. Thank you for everything. Oh, and there's more heavy rain coming in right over there. Yeah. So now that we're caught up to the present, after I left the Boston Nagashi school, things got really bad for me. Of course, I predicted it and all that. I was catastrophizing what was going to happen when I leave the school. It ended up being worse than I expected in some ways, a little better in other ways. So, I didn't expect that I would ever have my own iPhone, but I did expect I would be living in a very controlled environment, which came to pass. The plan was for me to live in a group home with, people like myself, but I didn't want to have the 24-hour supervision. That wasn't the plan. The plan was for me to live in a place with myself where I was going to have limited supervision. And of course, I was catastrophizing. That's never going to happen. My family's never going to allow that. And why did I think that? Because whenever I would visit home, my family would be very ableist. They would read these stupid ableist articles about how, autistic people shouldn't be allowed to play video games. And they would drink that freaking Kool-Aid. They would drink this ableist nonsense. And I would try to print them articles from really good true sites, and they still, my mom mostly, and my stepdad, of course, he was actually kind of the one that wanted me to be in a really controlled environment, because he thought, autistic people need all this. No, autistic people need structure, not authority. If someone tells you that this is what makes me comfortable, this is what makes me uncomfortable, you would tend to do the opposite. This is what ableist parents do. I told my mom all the time, this is what makes me happy, this is what makes me, and she would always do the opposite. I told her video games make me happy, boom, she takes away my video games. I told her that what would make me happy is if I live on my own, no supervision, 24-hour supervision. I told my mom that I want to go to community college to finish, because I'll get all the support. I told her going to Stony Brook would result in a lot of bad stuff. Made me go to Stony Brook. So she has a lot of authority over me. So I have to because if I go against her, it gives me a lot of problems. So you kind of have to agree in my situation, because I don't have any friends. I could say, okay, you know what? You're not helping me. Goodbye. I can't do that. So, but my mom is finally realized. But the thing is, I never really trusted my mom. So now that she's promising me all this, she's saying, she's going to let me move wherever I want. I know that it's probably not going to work out. Not because my mom, she always changes her mind. Seems like she supports it, and in the last second she changes her mind. So the thing is, everything she says, I don't believe it. I do not believe it, and I do not want to believe it. So someone told me about State College, Penn State, about how they have this mentorship program. I want to find out if they also have tutoring for people with disabilities, like one-on-one tutoring. Because of the pandemics, I was not able to get the tutoring that I needed, and as a result, I ended up failing so many of my semesters at Stony Brook, and now I was given a last semester warning. I'm probably going to be placed on probation. Yes, I have a disability, but it's a freaking prestigious school. The fact that I ended up there is a miracle. I got a 3.3 GPA at LaGuardia Community College because I got all this help I needed. I got all the tutoring help I needed. I took my time. I wasn't rushing into things. And both my mom and COVID and my family just ruined everything. And also hopefully I can talk to the, explain my situation. There maybe if I do a good job explaining my situation, they'll probably make me an exception, but that doesn't happen too often. Maybe it will happen with my case, but I still feel bad asking for it. I did anticipate all of it, so maybe it's my fault for putting all this negative energy out in the universe. So, you know what? I'm going to increase the brightness range. The strong wind should probably follow this band. Usually the strong winds are after the band passes. Next train should be coming in about 40 minutes. Phone's probably going to die, so I might have to turn off or lower the brightness significantly. My phone is only like 10-15% right now. 16, okay. So let me change tabs to the screen. So yeah, I gave out my life story. I don't feel bad. I basically let everything out of my system that I've ever wanted to. My mental health conditions have taken a toll on my life, but I'm not gonna let that do that to me anymore. Because I started having some really bad coping mechanisms, some really bad ways of coping that I want to get rid of. And no, this transition thing, being trans, is not because of the trauma I've been through. This is something that I really want to do. I feel comfortable and I do love goth culture. Of course, this is not because of the trauma. This is something I really want to do. And of course, my family is against it. The real reason I haven't transitioned wasn't just because they're not letting me. It's because I don't want to hurt my family. So I made myself miserable to keep my family happy for so long. Not happy, but I don't want to hurt them. And of course, they snooped on my room and went inside my stuff. So that's how I eventually all got found out. But truth is, I love my family, and I don't want them to be unhappy. I'm not taking this train because that train would make me late to miss the other train. So, plus this train, I think, is 15 minutes late. I'm probably gonna miss. Can I ask you a quick question? So I need to catch a train to Boston. To Worcester. I'm trying to go to Worcester. What time is the next train coming in? I know there's probably a delay due to the weather.
It's not bad.
What time was the train supposed to be here? I've been here for an hour already. What's an hour?
Check the schedule.
Not really. What time? So the current. Oh, I don't want you. Oh, I think you have to.
It's okay. There's one leaving. That's me. So you're gonna be where are we? Abington. There's one gonna be here at 11:33.
What time is this train? What time were you supposed to be here?
I'm on time.
Oh, on time. Great. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, I don't know who's watching the stream. I'm probably watching the stream myself. You know, I'm so grateful for all my fans and people out there watching me. So, of course, my family, you know, is... I lived a very, how to say this, unstable life. That's why I'm been kind of trying to relive what should have been my childhood. And, like, why I want to, you know, do all that stuff. You know, I never really had a normal childhood. Anyway, let's go back to the weather. Freaking stupid camera. Okay, I'm going to stop and I'm going to do... Okay. Stop. No. I want to switch to... Okay, screen capture. Select the platform, YouTube. Active event. Next. Save. Green. Now I'm going to have to increase the brightness because I could barely see anything. Okay. You know, I'm still like I wanted to do this like a real bona fide news report, but being on your own, I kind of get sidetracked. So I kind of got sidetracked talking about my past and everything. So this is the center of the storm. Looks like it is kind of where I expected it to be. I said it was going to be around this area near Rhode Island. Yeah. So it looks like the storm's probably going to pass through here, but there's a lot of heavy rain coming through. The winds on the backside of the system have calmed down significantly. Oh, no, they have not. Okay, look at that. There's still some pretty gusty winds on the backside of the system. That is about 500 feet up, 600 feet up. So you're having strong winds at about 400 feet. While surface winds are not that bad, actually. You know, gusting to like 30, 40, maybe isolated 45 mile an hour gust. Let's see. Yeah, you probably had some gusts near the surface, about 45 miles an hour. 40, 45, like probably at the treetops. Probably at the surface will be 25, 30. There's some gusty winds in the Springfield area, right here. Bolton, Hebron's now getting some gusty winds. And that's probably going to translate slowly northeastward. Like, I'm going to be here in this area, so that those stronger winds are probably going to hug the South Shore, the Cape, and the islands. Like, where I am is probably going to get a little gusty on the backside. Where I am, there's not that much strong winds. You know, stronger winds are much higher up. Those stronger winds are about 1,500 feet up. So the surface winds are still pretty light. Where I am, the winds are at about 20 miles an hour. Not that strong, but on the backside are going to get kind of gusty. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call the person I was supposed to call. So I'm going to temporarily. So looking at the radar. So right now, looking at the radar, the center is just making a landfall right now in Rhode Island. Probably Braintree's a good bet. The Plaza. Plaza's always a good place. I go there all the time. Well, hopefully there'll be a good place to charge my phone there. Should not work. Oh, sorry. I'm on the train, so I can't talk too loud. Surface winds are at about how am I gonna get to the there's already a down limb. What the heck? It's probably from that storm that came through the other day. Man, that was fun. All the thunder and lightning. Thank Thor.
Now arriving at Braintree.
Sorry, do you know how to... Excuse me? Do you know where the South Shore Plaza is? What station? Is this the one?
Excuse me.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I need South Shore Plaza. Is this a station?
Where?
South Shore Plaza. I need the plaza.
All right, Brent, get on there, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Still gotta get a bus to get over there, though. Get on to the station, get a bus.
Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, because I need to charge my phone. Thank you. Okay. Okay, now in, 15%. They didn't really give me a lot of time, but okay. Looks like I have some work to do. I'm gonna have to go to the Apple store, get my phone fixed, buy oh great, how am I gonna get off? Okay, there's the commuter, the local train. So probably I'm gonna have to, oh great, it's absolutely pouring here. I'm gonna have to wait for a little lull, or am I just gonna make a run for it? I don't know. My phone is on low power mode, so the screen will be shutting off automatically even though I'm recording. So, okay. All right. Where is the exit from the station? Okay, here's the exit. It's actually this way. Huh. This is, okay, so I have to be going the other way. So I think we're on the edge of one of the showers. Okay, I'm about to enter a lull, like in a couple minutes. So I'm going to wait for that lull to come in, and then I'm going to start walking. I mean, I have a good amount of money, so, like, not a lot. You know, honestly, I'm pretty freaking broke. And I kind of got, what did this say? Another deposit from the IRS. Tax, what is it called? COVID stimulus. I got an extra one, like the fourth one. I wasn't supposed to. Of course, let people know, that's not my money to spend. I have to return. Oh, yeah. So as I was saying, I got stimulus money from the IRS that I'm not supposed to have been getting. Long story short, I got it from my Emerald card because I forgot my routing number, Pretty hard way to find out to get it, so I had to go, So basically, when I did my tax stuff, I couldn't look up my routing, my account number online, even though I logged in. They don't give you your account number. So I had to get my freaking Emerald card through in the mail instead. Apparently, I didn't know this, nor did I expect it, but I got an extra $1,200 payment that I wasn't supposed to get. So I am not going to be spending it. I'm going to call the IRS right now, figure out, because I am broke as, like, if that's, I'm not counting that $1,200 because that's not mine. So that is not free, like, COVID money. In fact, I'm still technically broke. So I'm probably going to spend some of it because I'm in need, but I'm probably going to return all of it to the IRS. So I'm going to call the IRS right now and, being honest and everything. I have to be, I'm autistic and, I can't help being honest because then I'm going to feel guilty. And then, whenever I do something that is not honest, either because I'm desperate or, like, even though I rarely ever do anything dishonest, I feel bad about it. And usually, even though it's usually because, like, when I mean lying, I mean, like, people have lied in my family so many times. Ugh. So anyway, even though my family lies a lot, I usually turn a blind eye to it because I'm just so used to it. And yet when I hide stuff from them, they consider that lying. Oh, you're being dishonest. You're lying to us. No, I'm not lying. I'm just not telling you something. That's just omitting. You lie to me all the time and it's okay. But I can't because I'm autistic? Please. Give me a break. Stop it with your ableism and your whatnot, Stop having, double standards. anyway, yeah, the rain's calmed down, so I'm walking out a little bit. Oh, shoot. I gotta put my charger in my pocket. Come on, make sure the screen doesn't freaking shut off again. Because I don't want to have to constantly restart the live stream over and over and over again. Or the screen. So I'm currently getting light moderate rain here in Braintree. I'm in Braintree right now. Ooh, someone broke the window here. Yikes. You know, hooligans probably. I'm going in the mall right now. I don't know how to get there. I'm going there to charge my phone and get a new charger. I need one. I need to fix my screen right now, and I need to hopefully it's going to be a quick fix, hour or so. Or, I could still work with what I have, but I do not want the damage to become worse, so it would be more expensive. Probably should have gotten that OtterBox when I had the chance. Sorry. How do you get to the mall? How do you get to the plaza? I have no idea. I'm trying to get out of the rain. Oh, I have no umbrella. I'm freaking soaked right now. Should have waited a few more minutes. But, of course, I had to be a little impatient. Yeah, and I should have waited for that lull to come in. But it's kind of like forming because it's kind of like coming in like those snow bands that come in from the southeast when you have that nor'easter coming in. Oh, God, I'm freaking soaked right now. You know what? I'm going right into the freaking lot. I cannot take this anymore. I just jumped in. I went right into the freaking parking lot. I am soaking wet right now. I think they'll probably understand why I'm doing this. Oh. So yeah, there's about the center of circulation, where it appears to be the center. You want to look at velocity to figure out where the center is. That seems like it's the center, but that could be the mid-level center. You want to find where the surface center of circulation is. That's what's most important. Surface-based circulation. Surface-based. Okay. This is why you need to do balloon launches. As I said, the surface-based circulation should be somewhere in southern Rhode Island right now, I'm going to estimate. So look at the winds, right? See, you're still having a southeast wind here. Here the winds are already rotating. So looks like the center of circulation is somewhere over Block Island. So approximately Block Island is where the center is. Probably should be heading northeastward as time goes on. I'm going to just hang around the mall and just sit down and record and live stream while I'm in the mall. The mall always has good Wi-Fi. Oh, God. Just had to get out of the rain. Sorry. Whew. Sorry, I just had to get out of the rain. Whew. Sorry. Mall, right? Let me see. Oh, South Shore. Good old South Shore Plaza. Legal seafoods and all that other stuff. Of course, I'm not going to eat legal. Red Line? I said South Shore Plaza. There we go. 2:36. Oh, now. Delayed by 4 minutes. Oh. 9 minutes. Let me see how much. 9-minute ride. Okay. I'm gonna call my mom. My mom has really been lately changing, and I'm really grateful for everything that she's been doing. Even though my family has been kind of, in my opinion, ruined my life. They aren't, solely responsible for that. It was a bunch of other stuff too that just basically transpired again. So, as I was saying, my family, I love them so much. You know, I'm about to call my mom to tell her what I'm doing. Like, the reason I tell her everything is because, you know, it's kind of by force of habit. You know, when you have an authoritarian family, even though they're treating you better, you still want to keep up the good the habit that would make them not, you know, want to not want to trust. You want to make sure that they trust you, you know, and not, you know, treat you like, even though the reason for the lack of trust is ableism, you want to do as much as you can to prove them wrong. Oh, you have a mask?
No, you?
I did. I don't know where it is. I had a cloth mask. Yeah.
Get the back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the back. That's just the worst time to lose a mask. Huh? Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, of course not. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just guessed up because I have autism and other conditions. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you so much. This is going to the mall, right?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. Oh. Alrighty, got a mask. Broadcast again.
Face coverings are required on FTA vehicles and in stations.
Solid state. Polar state. Marshfield Road. Downward Avenue. Collinsworth Avenue. Reed Hill Road. Raintree on the corners. Lock junction. Grant Street at West Street. South Shore Plaza. Bus junction.
Here's your center circulation right here. That's your center right there. There's your center right there. Just made landfall in Narragansett Bay. Yeah, already came ashore in Narragansett Bay. This is basically the center circulation. It's this area of lack of precipitation. So it's like right around, it's in Rhode Island. Center, as I said, it's going to make landfall in Rhode Island, just as I expected. Storm came right basically where the models were forecasting the center to make landfall. Rhode Island, Southeast Mass area. So it's probably going to head up, considering the center circulation is going to pass just to my southeast by about 20 or 30 miles. When it gets over Norton, I'm probably going to check their air pressure. You know, their pressures are already probably down to the 1,005, 1,006. I'm going to estimate that right now. My air pressure is around 1,006 around Norton's, probably around 1,000, 1,002 right now. The winds are very light. There's no winds where I am. It's actually calm, just drizzling a little right now. So the winds are coming and going. It's very calm here at the surface. It gets a little breezy occasionally. As I said, we're in a low, but there is this little eye wall-like feature coming in. This is like a feature that's coming in. It's not having much wind with it at the surface, but it's very windy aloft because it's kind of like what would have been an eye wall-like feature coming in from the southeast. Like not an eye wall, but it would have been like near the eye wall. Now it's starting to be some bigger drops coming down as we're catching the edge right here of this shower. Because I'm looking from KBOX, so yeah, my screen is pretty cracked, so I'm gonna have to go to the Apple store and find out how much it is to fix. I really don't want to fix my the thing, but first I'm gonna have to call the IRS. Maybe I was supposed to get this, but probably not. It's probably something I have to return. Often mistakes like these happen. They send out the wrong payments. I mean, I'm in need of money. Like, I need money, so like I'm probably gonna have to pay back. This is like it's not free. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pay back. So, and I don't like taking out loans. I don't like owing money at all. So it's like really, really just something I'm not comfortable doing. But this is a necessity. Fixing my phone, getting a good charger is a need. It's not a want. It's not something I want. It's something I need. I got to focus on my needs and not my wants right now. Because, having a broken phone is much more important than like anything else because I'm already got some glass in my fingers and it's like not safe. Like a phone case, that's secondary, I'll probably get that when I get to New York, use my personal money. Hopefully I'll get a good job. I mean, I feel it's much easier to get a good job here in Massachusetts than in New York. Like, frick New York. It's unacceptable. I don't want to live in New York anymore. I realize how much better it is living here. The only thing about New York is mass transit is more convenient in some ways. Like, the Stony Brook is all the way out in the eastern end of Long Island. Like, okay, so going to Penn State is a good school, right? Penn State is a great college, right? Great school. And pretty good school. Probably I'm going to go to the observatory after I charge my phone a little. Fixing it, I'm probably not going to do that today. Because, they'll probably tell me it's going to take hours or, it's usually a few $100s to fix the phone, and it's not done in an hour. It takes, they have to ship it out. So, yeah, I'm entering the mall right now. My favorite place to go. Time to go to the food court. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually on a diet. See if there's a charging port around here somewhere. I know this place like the back of my hand. I've been here so many times. I feel like I'm at home here. The Apple store is on the other side of the mall. I just need to find a way to get there. Oh, I know exactly where I am. Just gotta. It's probably gonna be right around here. Just gonna look at the map. I mean, I haven't been here in 2 years, so I mean, I'll probably get a good place here. You know what? I love Boston. I freaking love Boston. Look how easy it is. I already know where the Apple store is. Oh, yeah. Lower level next to Swersk. Oh. That's it? Okay. And you're right here to Swirsky Crystal. Yep. Exactly where it used to be. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Just got to walk down and make a left. I mean a right. Okay, probably gonna charge my phone there. Tell them my phone just cracked. And I'll probably buy my charger there because right now the charger I have is not good. Because I have a dilapidated one that's too big, too bulky. Takes forever to charge. No, you know what? I'm not buying anything. Probably just gonna find a place to sit down and charge my phone. Because I gotta get to the observatory ASAP before the strong winds come in. Because I want to do some stuff. Yeah, I'm coming up. Before the strong winds get here. I don't realize strong winds are forming on the backside.
Lisa!
Yes. There's Swarovski. And the Apple Store should just be... Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm actually live streaming right now, so... Why are they playing country? Seriously. Yeah, it is a center circulation. Possibly center. There's possibly two centers. The surface base and the mid-level. Yeah, there's a surface base right there. And there's your mid-level circulation here. So yeah, there's definitely a disconnect between the surface and mid-level. Storm is definitely not stacked. There's a disconnect between the surface and the mid-level right now, so it's probably going to facilitate some weakening. Okay. Hi, sorry. Okay, they're busy. Okay, I'm in the Apple Store right now, so I'm trying to... Hi! You work here, right? Perfect. So my phone just fell, screen just cracked. Actually, I'm kind of live streaming right now, the storm. So it's just recording the screen. Let me turn off the... I'm trying to make sure the microphone's off.
So the screen just cracked?
Yeah, like an hour ago. I don't want to pay. I don't want to fix it now. I just want to know how much does it cost to fix.
Can you go into the settings for me on the phone?
Hold on. Let me end the live stream.